Zvigananda kubva kunatagwire kusvikira Mnangagwa manje soto zvivarisa
ane masazi kamu iwe oda atidise kupiwa oda ane masazi kamu dairai slogan dairai.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pretoria was on fire today, not from load shedding but from righteous fury, as the M31 movement, a bold coalition of Zimbabweans based in South Africa, descended on the Zimbabwean embassy with one message: hands off Masiwa, also known as Nyoka Mabunu. With chants echoing through Francis Baard Street and placards sharper than the Zex silence during elections, the protesters delivered a damning petition to embassy officials who, as expected, peered out from behind bulletproof glass like guilty priests caught red-handed in the confessional booth. Let's hear from some of the people who attended the protest.
Acting under the united banner of M31 movement, stand before this embassy not as beggars of justice, but as rightful heirs of Zimbabwe's constitutional promise, betrayed, brutalized, and silenced by illegitimate administration headed by Mr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. We write to you, Ambassador, with rage burning in our hearts and law in our hands. We declare that we will no longer be silent. Citizens like Nyoka Mabunu are subjected to transnational political persecution and unlawful attempts at extradition. The embassy colludes with the Zimbabwean regime to forge criminal dockets, manufacture fake identities, and manipulate South African legal processes for political gain. Rampant and systematic corruption continue to hollow our every institution of government in Zimbabwe, where its citizens languish in poverty and in fear. A regime whose head of state is clearly incapacitated continues to occupy office unconstitutionally and against the national interest. We declare that these actions constitute violations of international law, abuse of diplomatic immunity, obstruction of justice in foreign jurisdictions, and breach of the Zimbabwean Constitution, particularly Section 59, which talks about equality and non-discrimination. Also Section 58 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, which talks about the freedom of assembly and association. Section 59 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, right to demonstrate and to petition. And Section 70 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, rights to the accused person. Ambassador, we further submit that the continued persecution of fellow comrade Nyoka Mabunu for standing up on human rights, for standing up for Zimbabweans, who has committed no crime except to articulation of dissent, amounts to a political crime. It is egregious violation of international refugees protection, and including provisions of the African Charter on Human Rights and People's Rights and the UN Convention Against Torture. We put it to you that Mr. Mnangagwa is no longer fit for office, physically or morally, and must relinquish power immediately in accordance with Section 96 of the Constitution. I want to repeat this. Mr. Ambassador, we put it to you that your principal, Mr. Mnangagwa, is no longer fit for office, physically or morally, and must relinquish power immediately in accordance with Section 96 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. Therefore, Mr. Ambassador, we demand the following. Number one, that the Zimbabwean embassy immediately cease and desist from interfering in the legal and asylum processes of Zimbabweans in South Africa, particularly the case of Comrade Nyoka Mabunu. Number two, we demand that all personnel involved in the forging of documents and unlawful collusion with security agencies be investigated and recalled. Number three, we demand that President Mnangagwa immediately vacate office due to incapacitation and systematic failure to govern. Let me repeat number four. It's important that President Emmerson Mnangagwa, the President of Zimbabwe, immediately vacate offices due to incapacitation and systematic failure to govern. Number five, that the government of Zimbabwe establish a transitional process led by independent and credible actors to restore constitutionalism and impunity and prepare for the fresh elections. Failure to address these, Comrade Ambassador, we will result in the expansion of lawful and peaceful civic resistance, both inside and outside Zimbabwe. This is not a plea. It is a warning, Mr. Ambassador. History is watching you. The people are waiting. Mr. Ambassador, let me repeat this once more. Failure to address this demand with your principle, this will result in the expansion of lawful and peaceful civic resistance, both inside the country and outside Zimbabwe. This is not a plea. We are not begging you, Mr. Hamazri. We are not begging you, sir. It is a warning. History is watching you. History will judge you. And history will stone you to death. That the people of Zimbabwe are dying on a daily basis, seeking medical attention in a hospital. And the hospitals are not functioning. The hospital system is in the intensive care unit. Nothing is working. People are not going to school.
That's the message which all Zimbabweans are saying. The message is you need to stop the state capture which is happening in Zimbabwe, where all the state resources are now being facilitated by individuals. We are not
Iwe oda oda atidizwe kupiwa oda nemasasikamu dairai 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 slogan dairai dairai slogan dairai dairai slogan tantimetana tantimetana dairai dairai slogan dairai dairai slogan famba famba munangagwa famba famba munangagwa Zvigananda famba famba slogan tantimetana
There you are, ladies and gentlemen. So what's cooking? Well, besides the usual diplomatic lies and mischief, it turns out our esteemed embassy allegedly tried to slip some identity documents under the table, assigning them to Wellington Jeremiah Masiwa. There was only one problem though, that Jeremiah doesn't exist. Not on any birth certificate, not on any passport, and certainly not on any voter's roll. It's his church name. Next, they will be extraditing people under their baptismal names. Imagine arresting someone because God knows that's a person's name. Store bread when his ID actually says Tinashe. But this is no laughing matter. The charges pinned to Masiwa date back to 2014, a time when he was a Harare councillor. Yes, in full public view and one phone call away from the CIO if needed. Yet suddenly, like an old ZBC archive tape, we are told he committed a serious crime back then. And now, conveniently, in 2025, these charges are being dug up just as he has become a thorn in the side of ZANU-PF through protests, stayaways, and relentless online criticism. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. The charges are about as real as Zimbabwe's inflation figures. South Africa, however, isn't buying their circus. Their legal system might have issues, but it's not blind. They saw through the fog when Masiwa's original ID was presented. Wellington Masiwa, no Jeremiah in sight. There was confusion in the courtroom, an embarrassment for embassy officials who apparently forgot that in 2025, documents can be verified within minutes, not manipulated with a pen and a rubber stamp like it's 1983. This blunder has thrown a spanner in the gears of what many are calling a politically motivated extradition attempt. And with the court matter adjourned to May 9, the M31 movement has vowed to escalate the pressure not only in the courts but in the streets, online, and at every diplomatic corner where Zimbabwe's autocrats dare to lurk. Today's protest was not just about Wellington Masiwa. It was a thunderous reminder to the regime back home. You may doctor documents, but you can't silence a revolution. We fled away from your persecution. Why do you follow us to persecute us here? The Geza movement is gaining steam, and it seems no amount of forged charges or biblical alliances will stop it now. Stay tuned to Zimwaves TV, where we tear through propaganda like a machete through dry maize stalks. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Unless you are the embers, of course, in which case, maybe start watching more closely. Your lies are starting to leak.
Chitando migodi mavuta na imuswere unomboriani newe masuka ivure duriripi Julai moyo uri mutengesi Zvigananda guva yakwana inzwa imazita azvozvese Zvigananda kubva kunatagwire kusvikira munangagwa manje manje soto zvivarisa kazembe kazembe unoita nezvei iwe moyo vanhu vati pasi newe munangagwa mukuru weZvigananda manje manje soto zvivarisa Zvigananda nguva yakwana inzwa imazita azvozvese Zvigananda kubva kunatagwire kusvikira munangagwa manje manje soto zvivarisa wiki nero chivayo mari yedu iripi iwe sakupwanya chimukute chiripi George kuva matanga zosa mari yedu isura na vevu kufe matazarirwa Zvigananda nguva yakwana inzwa imazita azvozvese Zvigananda kubva kunatagwire kusvikira munangagwa manje manje soto zvivarisa nyaya charumbira wakawandepi iwe mangu jaiwe mari yedu iripi newe mutuli waondora nyika obe ichimuka uri Chigananda Zvigananda nguva yakwana inzwa imazita azvozvese Zvigananda kubva kunatagwire kusvikira munangagwa manje manje soto zvivarisa nyaitungwarara uchatizirepi iwe kwande mari yedu iripi garwe mutengesi watitukirei owe nemuta mujiba webaranzi Zvigananda nguva yakwana inzwa imazita azvozvese Zvigananda kubva kunatagwire kusvikira munangagwa manje manje soto zvivarisa tatenda mavetera unombozivei chinomona wakamira nani vamudenda tinyerei upando tino machakaire hanya dziriripi Zvigananda nguva yakwana inzwa imazita azvozvese Zvigananda kubva kunatagwire kusvikira munangagwa manje manje soto zvivarisa imi vamutsvangwa ivai pangwena newe paradza hauna nechikoro choswe nai matuke muzukuru wapindwa nei chadzamira kusvika riniko Zvigananda nguva yakwana inzwa imazita azvo zvese Zvigananda, kubva kunata kwire kusvikira munangagwa, manje manje sotozvivarisa. Munyaradzi muzukuru wapindwa nei, imi vamahia hatimbokanganwi, yubetingirozi uri Zvigananda futi newe puranisoni, muprofita wenyema. Zvigananda nguva yakwana, inzwa imazita azvo zvese Zvigananda, kubva kunata kwire kusvikira munangagwa, manje manje sotozvivarisa. Masimiremba urigoronyera, kambamura chimwe Zvigananda, ziyambi ziyambi matare anani, chihendere hauna nyadzi here. Zvigananda nguva yakwana, inzwa imazita azvo zvese Zvigananda, kubva kunata kwire kusvikira munangagwa, manje manje sotozvivarisa. Zvigananda nguva yakwana, inzwa imazita azvo zvese Zvigananda, kubva kunata kwire kusvikira munangagwa, manje manje sotozvivarisa.